Assalamualaikum students, I am Professor Muhammad Asghar from फौजी फाउंडेशन हॉस्पिटल लाहौर एंड ये लेक्चर हमारा होगा मैनेजमेंट ऑफ फ्लूइड बैलेंस इन सर्जिकल पेशेंट्स. सो लेट्स बिगिन. आप लोगों ने you must have gone through a lot of anatomy of how the body fluid is distributed in your pathology, basic pathology. So we will be dealing with three types of fluid: total body water, intracellular fluid, and extracellular fluid. Total body water is it constitutes about 50 to 70% of the total body weight. So if the patient is about of 70 kg, there will be 43 liter of water in the body. Fat contains little water. The lean individual has greater proportion of water to total body weight than the obese patient, because fat is non-soluble and it doesn't contain water. Total body water as a percentage of total body weight decreases steadily and significantly with increasing age. As the people grow aged, you can see that there's wrinkles on the skins and their skin falling apart because they have lost their water. That was intracellular or extracellular or whatever it was. So that makes wrinkles appear more. So total body water decreases with increasing age. Now let's see what is their intracellular fluid. A large proportion is present in the skeletal muscle. The biggest mass in the body are the skeletal muscles. So most of the fluid is present inside the cell of the skeletal muscle. Potassium and magnesium are the principal cations. The positive ions are potassium and the magnesium, and phosphate and protein are the principal anions in them. Then there is extracellular fluid. Extracellular fluid is of two types: interstitial fluid and intravascular fluid. Interstitial fluid are of two types. One is the functional component that comprises most of it, rapidly equilibrating. In this compartment, the fluid travel in both ways to maintain equilibrium inside the compartment. Then there is a non-functioning component that is slowly equilibrating. That slowly moves across the cell membranes. Connective tissue water and transcellular water. This is called a third space or distributional change. Sodium is the principal cation in this, whereas chloride and bicarbonates are the principal anions. Then there is intravascular fluid that is present in the blood vessels. About 5 liters of blood is present in our blood vessel in heart. So this is the distribution of body fluid compartment in a 70 kg male. Here you can see the extracellular fluid is about 27% of the weight, and it is 45% of the total body weight, and it amounts to about 19 liters. Whereas plasma is about 4.5% of the body weight and 7.5% of the total body weight, and it amounts to 3.2 liters. Interstitial fluid is about 12%, and it is total 20% of the total body water, and its amount to about 8.4 liters. Then there is density water, bone water, and transcellular fluid. Then is intracellular fluid, which is about 33% of the body weight and 55% of total body weight, and its amount to 23 liters. So on total, it is about 42 liters. Total body water is about 42 liters in a 70 kg, and it amounts to about 60 to 70% of the total body weight. This is the normal exchange of fluid and electrolytes. Water exchange, salt gain and losses. Total intake in a normal person is about 2.5 liters. Metabolic water is about 200 ml per day requirement. Ingested moist fluid is about 800 ml per day. This is the water the body gains from metabolic reactions. Then there is ingested liquid about 1.5 liters. Then there is output. GI output is about 100 ml depending upon the type of stool the patient is passing. We evaporate water through lungs about 300 ml, and skin evaporation about 600 ml depending on the temperature outside. whereas kidney excrete about 1.5 liter per day. These are the volume changes. What if the changes occur in the volume, for example, in the extracellular fluid or intracellular fluid, and what sort of dehydration, what will be the effect on various organs or system of the body? For example, we take CNS. If there's a moderate deficit of water inside the body, then the patient will experience sleepiness, apathy, slow response. And if there is severe decrease, then there will be a decreased tender reflex, stupor, coma. And in the case of excess, you don't have any much sign with the CNS. But in GIT, moderate deficit will be there with decreased fluid consumption. And if there is severe deficit, the patient may experience nausea, ileus, vomiting, and distension. Whereas excess volume changes may lead to occupation edema of the bowel, omentum, and mesentery. In CVS, there may be orthostatic hypotension, tachycardia, collapsed vein, and collapsed pulse, where severe deficiency may exhibit hypotension, distant heart sound, cold extremities, absent peripheral pulses. And when if it comes to the excess of water, there will be increased CVP, increased CO, loud heart sign, murmurs, gallops, increased pulse pressure, and there may be pulmonary edema. Tissue sign or skin sign will be decreased skin, turgor, dry skin, atonic muscle, sunken eyes, pitting edema, anasarca, vomiting, diarrhea, things like that.